Here's your obscure Jurassic fact for today. Most people dug the moment in 2015's Jurassic World where the character Gray uses a hologram of a Dilophosaurus to distract a Velociraptor. However, did you know this idea has its roots all the way back in the first movie? Yes, during the pre-production of Jurassic Park, there was a scene planned in the script by Rick Carter describing Tim using an umbrella sporting a Dilophosaurus design on the canopy, in which he uses it to confuse and distract a Velociraptor. There was even concept art made depicting this scene. Now that's history. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. During the production of Jurassic Park 3, Stan Winston Studios were trying other methods to help bring the dinosaurs to life. We already covered how they experimented with puppets during the pre-production phase of the Tyrannosaur vs Spinosaurus fight, but did you know they also tried utilising rod puppets on raised sets for some of the larger species? In a very similar fashion to how they brought the compies to life in The Lost World, here they experimented with animating a full-grown T-Rex in much the same way, perhaps to try and limit the amount of CGI shots necessary to get more fluid movement. Personally, I feel like this is a great looking effect, and had they stuck with this for certain shots in the final film, it would have made for some awesome visuals. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. When Jurassic Park and The Lost World were released on DVD in the US in October of 2000, they came with animated menus. For Jurassic Park, it zoomed into the Universal logo towards Isla Nublar, landing on a Tyrannosaur footprint filled with water, which would ripple when you select one of the menu options. For The Lost World it was similar, but instead it zoomed into a T-Rex footprint within the concrete of San Diego. However, did you know for the DVD release outside of the US, they came with different menu animations. For Jurassic Park, it opened with the logo being lit from behind in red, and then destroyed as a raptor jumped through it. What followed was a shot of the visitors centre with raptors periodically scouting around the location. For The Lost World, it was similar, but this time it opened with a bluey silver logo, which transitioned into a street lamp within the worker village on Isla Sorna. Raptors would once again scout the location, but it came with an alternate animation. Man, I miss this kind of stuff with physical media. During the marketing for Jurassic World Dominion, director Colin Trevorrow was interviewed by Empire magazine about the new big bad dinosaur, the Giganotosaurus, and he was reported to say, "I wanted something that felt like the Joker. Hi. He just wants to watch the world burn." This sent many people into a whirlwind of speculation about what this would entail, and after seeing the final film, people saw how rather calm and calculated the Giganotosaurus was, so naturally fans and others questioned what did Colin really mean by this quote. However, did you know in the book Jurassic World The Ultimate Visual History, Colin actually gives further context to the Joker quote in a paragraph that reads, "The creature's facial colouring was particularly distinct. I wanted it to almost feel like melting makeup, like the Joker," the director adds. "It's nasty and wants to kill. So it was a kind of camouflage, a green and black dinosaur. I think it's an incredible design." So there we have it. It was actually just about the coloration and look of the dinosaur, more so than its behaviour. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. Everyone who has seen Jurassic Park remembers the scene where the Tyrannosaur escapes its paddock and attacks the tour vehicles. One moment from that scene that many people cite as iconic is the terrifying visual of the T-Rex peering through the car window. It was such a memorable moment that most of the sequels have repeated this motif. However, did you know that this classic visual was not unique to Jurassic and was in fact inspired by another dinosaur movie from the 1960s? Yes, in the 1960s B-movie Dinosaurus, great title by the way, there's a moment where a Tyrannosaurus attacks a tour vehicle, even peering through the window in the exact same way we'd see in Jurassic Park. Methinks someone from Jurassic Park's production was influenced by this as a child, and I guess we're all glad they were. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. Before 2015's Jurassic World, there was no officially released timeline of story events. Not until the viral marketing website MasraniGlobal.com came online and provided fans the opportunity to hack into the park systems to access a timeline of what happened in the Jurassic movie canon. One of the most important dates to come from this timeline was 1986, which finally revealed to fans that the first dinosaur was cloned on Isla Sorna in that very year. But did you know this pivotal year was brought on screen in Jurassic World Dominion? When Maisie is watching old recordings of her mother, we can see the footage is taken from Isla Sorna in 1986, giving fans a glimpse into the early days of Hammond and InGen's successes and tying back to the official timeline.
Oh, there it is.
When watching The Lost World Jurassic Park, one may overlook a small error in which Malcolm asks John about the 4 members of his team before Hammond even mentions how many people are involved.
Right? And who are these 4 lunatics that you're trying to con into this?
Well, did you know there was actually a deleted scene which showed John Hammond mentioning his team contained 4 members? Yes, if you look closely at the final film as it stands, you can see a cut right at the moment where the 2 characters approach the computer, and it was right here where the deleted scene took place. The only place it's appeared so far was in the documentary The Return of Steven Spielberg from 1996, so with a little bit of editing, we can see the full scene play out here.
Strictly observation and documentation.
4 members only. 4 people? John, you need like the National Guard.
No. Our satellite infrareds show that the animals are fiercely territorial. The carnivores are isolated in the interior of the island so the team can stay on the outer rim.
Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. The Spinosaurus made a huge impact on the series when it was introduced in Jurassic Park 3, but did you know the filmmakers had another species in mind for the new big bad dinosaur during pre-production? Yes, before the Spinosaurus, the new super predator was going to be the Baryonyx. Long before it made its debut in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the Baryonyx was set to be the new star of the franchise. Which seems a little odd given the Baryonyx was a much smaller species compared to the Tyrannosaurus, yet it got so far as to appear in some storyboards looking very much like the Spinosaurus, and it even made it into an early logo for the film, which appeared in some trailers.
With a DVD industry first, an exclusive live hotlink to the set of Jurassic Park 3.
Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. When it comes to the Dilophosaurus in the Jurassic franchise, fans have always wondered if there are much larger versions existing within the movie canon. A query that stems from the original novel, in which Crichton describes an adult Dilophosaurus being massive, even being able to pick up Dennis Nedry in its jaws by his head, which makes sense considering how big the Dilophosaurus are in the fossil record. The largest we see on screen in the movie so far is the hologram in Jurassic World, which puts a Dilophosaurus at about the same size as a Velociraptor. And given we see numerous smaller Dilophosauruses in Dominion, one could assume they're all around this size. However, did you know in the Lost World Jurassic Park, there's a monitor in the RV which cycles through the different dinosaur species on Site B, and the graphic for the Dilophosaurus describes them growing to around 20 feet in length. So there is evidence of larger Dilophosauruses potentially being out there. Hopefully we'll one day get to see these giant versions on screen in a new movie. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. In Jurassic World, there's a moment where we see a petting zoo with children riding on the backs of baby Triceratops. Did you know this idea was originally planned for the first movie? Yes, during early pre-production, Jurassic Park was set to have a scene where Lex rides on the back of a baby Triceratops which she befriends. Concept art was made for this scene, along with storyboards, as well as a fully working baby Triceratops animatronic, which wouldn't make it on screen until seen for a split second in The Lost World. And even merchandise was made around this deleted scene. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. When it comes to the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park 3, many fans consider their designs to be some of, if not the best from the entire franchise. But did you know during early pre-production of the film, the teams behind bringing the dinosaurs to life conducted tests using raptor designs that were much more in line with what audiences had seen previously? In this behind the scenes footage from Jurassic Park 3, we can see a male tiger-striped velociraptor like those seen in The Lost World, only this one sports a deeper red coloration to its body along with dark green eyes. And then there's this footage of a female velociraptor suit test which looks like it stepped straight out of the first movie. It's likely these were just reused props from The Lost World, refurbished for movement testing, but imagining Jurassic Park 3 with the classic raptor designs is cool to think about. An interesting what if. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. Jurassic World Dominion's plot took audiences through a world where genetic power was getting out of hand. One of the main locations the story goes to is an underground black market for the illegal sale of genetically engineered animals in Malta. A small obscure detail at this location not many people are aware of relates to what's being cooked here. In a brief moment we see characters not only cooking the genetically engineered locusts that Biosyn had released earlier in the movie, but also a giant genetically engineered lamprey, a type of jawless fish which are alive today. Props for these weird looking fish can be seen in behind the scenes photos. However, the sheer size of those being seen cooked in Jurassic World Dominion has led fans to assume that these are prehistoric versions, cloned to feed the dinosaurs and other black market attendees. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. Most people are aware of Jurassic Park 4's troubled production. After Jurassic Park 3 released in 2001, the filmmakers struggled to find the right story to continue the adventure. Obviously, as most are aware, Jurassic Park 4 eventually became Jurassic World, and all of the branding was switched to match this new name. However, did you know that one product slipped through the net that contained the title Jurassic Park 4, from a time that predates Jurassic World? Yes, in 2010, a mobile game was released with the title Jurassic Park. However, on the loading screens, it was branded with a Spinosaurus logo which read Jurassic Park 4 with the Roman numerals. The plot would follow Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm battling poachers and avoiding an angry Tyrannosaurus across Isla Nublar after their boat capsized due to a storm. It's a clunky yet interesting relic which is a perfect time capsule from the years when Jurassic seemed dead in the water. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. Did you know in the original novel for Jurassic Park, it is revealed that John Hammond used a tiny elephant only 9 inches high and a foot long in order to wow investors to give him money for consumer biologicals and eventually fund Jurassic Park. It was created by a character called Norman Atherton, who was Hammond's business partner, using the embryo of a dwarf elephant in an artificial womb and hormonal modifications. Despite Hammond telling investors it was the product of genetic engineering, this tiny beast was a hit, even though it acted more like an ill-tempered rodent due to how it was modified. Well, did you know the idea of tiny elephants may have existed within the Jurassic movie canon? According to a behind-the-scenes interview with writer and producer Colin Trevorrow, the lab underneath Lockwood Manor in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was where John Hammond and Henry Wu cloned baby elephants.
In the basement of this house, Dr. Wu and John Hammond cloned the first baby elephants and then moved on to dinosaurs.
Most people are aware of Jurassic Park 3's troubled production. Due to an entire script rewrite just before filming, many ideas and scenes were lost or abandoned. However, did you know one idea came very close to being fully realised? Yes, during the climax of the film, there was going to be a scene where the pteranodons and velociraptors fight. It's mentioned and depicted on trading cards for the film, and exists in full detail within the Jurassic Park 3 Junior novelisation, which are adaptations of the scripts that often reveal ideas that didn't make it into the final film. In this case, it would follow Grant and co emerging onto a beach only to be attacked by pteranodons, which are then ambushed by velociraptors and a fight would ensue. This scene also included an alpha pteranodon, which was designed for the final film but never made it on screen. However, it did appear all over the merchandise, including within the Jurassic Park 3 arcade game and the toy line. It even appears on one of Jurassic Park's 30th anniversary trading cards, which were released in 2023. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. In the run-up to Jurassic World Dominion, director Colin Trevorrow released this image of an InGen crate on Isla Sorna, sending fans into a spiral of hype and speculation. This same prop crate appeared in Fallen Kingdom within the labs under Lockwood Manor, and was seen in Jurassic World being used to recover specific embryos from Dr. Wu's secret lab. However, in Dominion, this crate would be seen behind Charlotte Lockwood on Isla Sorna in the footage from 1986. But did you know the set for this location was within the Embryonic Administration building seen in Jurassic Park 3, the place where the very first dinosaurs were cloned? Yes, the factory floor where Grant and co were chased by the Velociraptor can be seen through the windows in the background. This small set also came complete with the same design and style as the labs seen in Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar, and this awesome Isla Sorna logo, which reveals the room is the hatchery, the Triceratops logo alluding to the first dinosaur which was cloned that same year. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. The Lost World Jurassic Park introduced fans to a plethora of new dinosaur species, including the Stegosaurus, the Pachycephalosaurus, the Compsognathus and the Pteranodon. Most of these are well known to the general public. However, another new dinosaur introduced, the Mamenchiasaurus, is often overlooked due to its brief appearance during the scene where the InGen hunters are collecting dinosaurs. However, did you know despite its brief screen time, the filmmakers actually did create a highly detailed maquette of the Mamenchisaur's head, which has finally given fans a much closer look into the detail and coloration of this elusive animal. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's story was focused around the rescue of the dinosaurs from Isla Nublar after the island's volcano became active once again. As seen in the film, the name of this volcano is Mount Sibo, but did you know this name did not originate in this movie? Yes, back in 2011, a game released called Jurassic Park the Game, which story is set during the first movie. It was within this game that the island's volcano was first given a name.
What is Sibo?
That mountain there. It is like a house, my father said.
Despite the game not being canon to the movies, details were cherry-picked to be brought into the films, like the name Mount Sibo. Also, on the viral marketing website for Fallen Kingdom, dinosaurprotectiongroup.com, it's revealed that InGen employees nicknamed the volcano Mount Hammond. So despite the volcano being a surprise to some when it came to the focus of the story in Fallen Kingdom, it has been there since the beginning. Its peak can even be seen on computer monitors in the first movie. One of the most memorable moments from the original Jurassic Park novel is a tense chapter where Alan Grant and the children Lex and Tim escape on a raft from a Tyrannosaurus which gives chase swimming after their boat. But did you know this scene was planned to be part of the final movie? Yes, storyboards show how the full sequence would have played out, complete with notes about which effects house would be required for certain shots. It follows Grant and the children nervously navigating around the sleeping Tyrannosaur before getting into a boat. Lex would stupidly call out "you stupid dinosaur" to the sleeping carnivore, which would wake it up. It would then proceed to chase them into a swampy part of the river and snap at them between trees, but fortunately a dead tree would topple down, blocking the Tyrannosaur from getting them. It's an insanely cool sequence which would have been crazy to see in 1993, and yet despite not making it to the final film, it is really iconic and has since gone on to inspire the Spinosaurus river attack sequence in Jurassic Park 3, and most notably, it was the inspiration for Jurassic Park The Ride.
Jurassic Park, the ride.
Here's today's spooky Jurassic fact. Did you know back in 2002, Universal created a special event called Jurassic Park Project Evolution to fold the Jurassic brand into their 12th annual Halloween Horror Nights celebrations. Yes, this interactive walkthrough event was set around the Discovery Center at Universal's Islands of Adventure in Florida, and would take guests through a destroyed base on Site B, where one Dr. Burton has been experimenting creating human dinosaur hybrids. Naturally, his creations have escaped and are running amok across the island, along with a bunch of velociraptors and Dilophosaurus. Dr. Burton would eventually be strung up and killed by his own creations in a frightening spectacle for guests to witness. The hybrids included a Dilophosaurus human hybrid, a Triceratops rhino bull human hybrid, a pterodactyl human hybrid, and something known as a Grebnadu. We'll focus on that in a future video. The event also included a decapitated Triceratops, which just so happened to be the exact prop used in The Lost World. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. When it comes to paying homage to other films or hiding Easter eggs within the Jurassic movies, no one loves to do it more than Steven Spielberg himself. For example, in The Lost World Jurassic Park, the boat that brings the male Tyrannosaur back to San Diego is named the Venturer, the same name given to the boat that brought King Kong to New York in the 1933 original, or having a bunch of Japanese businessmen running away from the Tyrannosaur as a wink back to the Godzilla movies. Spielberg loves to do this. However, did you know he actually inserted an Easter egg in Jurassic Park which pays homage to one of his own movies? Yes, in a blink and you'll miss it moment, when Hammond goes to confront Nedry about his laziness, you can actually see that Steven Spielberg's Jaws from 1975 is playing on one of his monitors. You're gonna need a bigger park, mate. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. In the Jurassic movies, there are many adventurous and exaggerated moments where humans survive feats that wouldn't be possible in the real world. Whether it's Malcolm, Nick and Sarah all managing to grab onto the RV as they fall, or Owen and Kayla emerging from a plane that has crashed into the ice without a scratch or a drop of water on them, to the litany of things Tim survives in the original movie. The Jurassic films have always bent the laws of reality to bring their adventures to life. None more blatant than Owen surviving a pyroclastic flow from an erupting volcano in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But did you know the filmmakers actually addressed this while making the movie to give some logic behind how Owen survives? Yes, in an interview with FX Guide back in 2018, head of special effects Dave Vickery revealed how the team decided to have a dust smoke cloud precede the actual gas and lava. In the final film, it is very subtle, but if you look closely you can in fact see a brownish plume of smoke, which is ahead of the super hot pyroclastic flow. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. One of the most popular games amongst Jurassic fans was the Lost World Jurassic Park for PlayStation 1, released in August of 1997. It was a classic side-scrolling platform game which let players take control of a Compsognathus, a Velociraptor, Sarah Harding, Dieter Stark, the Hunter, and even the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex. But not many people know that if you collected every DNA bonus you would unlock a secret ending when completing the game, and Ian Malcolm himself would congratulate you for your victory from the beach scene during the opening of the Lost World movie.
Hello, if you can hear me, congratulations. Way to go, you made it through. You spent all that time. Now you know what you should do? Turn the thing off, for heaven's sakes, and go outside. You know, breathe the air, take a walk, call a member of the opposite sex, you know what I'm talking about.
Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. In 2019, when the Jurassic World short film Battle at Big Rock was released, many fans were wondering why we had not seen the Nasutoceratops before. This species first made its on-screen appearance in the short and would go on to be one of the most prominent dinosaurs seen in the follow-up feature, Jurassic World Dominion.
Alan, you never get used to it.
But did you know within the storyline, DNA for this species did in fact exist on Isla Nublar during the time of Jurassic World? Yes, evidence of InGen owning Nasutoceratops DNA can be found during the scene when Claire Owen and the two boys are confronted by Vic Hoskins in Wu's secret lab. On one of the monitors, proposal images of various hybrids is playing on loop, and one such hybrid is the Stegoceratops, an amalgamation of a Stegosaurus and a Nasutoceratops, which means DNA for this animal was within InGen's archives, as seen all the way back in Jurassic Park 4. Here's today's obscure Jurassic fact. In Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there is a scene where Owen Grady is tranked by the villains of the story and left for dead. Soon he is woken up by a Senoceratops which pauses to lick his face while fleeing the jungle from the approaching lava. Well, did you know this little scene was in fact a homage to a moment from the Lost World novel by Michael Crichton? Yes, in the book, Sarah Harding is thrown overboard into the ocean by Lewis Dodson in attempted murder. She finally washes up on the banks of a river on Site B, exhausted and scared, whereabouts she passes out. A couple of chapters later, she wakes up in astonishment from the sight of a large Stegosaurus licking her face.